Better respect me. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis. It is August 16th, 2018. And today's song request is actually my own. Gotta give a rest in peace to Aretha Franklin. She passed away today. Queen of Soul. Well, today you're gonna be Queen of Crypto. So shout out to the family and may you rest in peace. Marvelous career she had, Motown legend for sure here in the D. So I just want to pay my proper respects and give a shout out and play this song. What's good, people? Of course, I try to pick articles and topics to talk about that are thought-provoking and also just highlight moves in the cryptocurrency markets that may benefit you in the long run to know about. So today we're going to talk about what CoinShares Chief Strategy Officer said about cryptocurrencies, how they relate to the stock market boom back in the 2000s. But it's a good relatable aspect that he's pointing out. So we'll take a look at that. And then secondly, this is big news. Nasdaq, word on the street is that Nasdaq and Gemini are very close to listing coins on their board. So that's going to bring additional exposure, more so from the retail investor. And that's good news for us in the cryptocurrency markets already. So we'll take a look at that as well. But first, let me just let you guys know, last day to sign up for the trading signal. You want to get in there. I'll be closing it up midnight tonight. So make sure if you were waiting to get in, this is your last opportunity before you can do it again in November, and the price will jump a little bit in November as well. It'll be going up to $350 for 3 months. So check it out, cryptoblood.io. Let's take a look at those markets really quickly from Coin Checkup, and we're down slightly in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Some of the bleeding has stopped with Ethereum, but they dropped back below $300. And I told you guys yesterday how I felt about the price of Ethereum and where it's going in the next 6 to 7 months. But overall, just kind of taking a breather. I think we have still held on to the gains from the lows of 5,900 on Bitcoin, 5,900, 6,000, depends on where you're getting those quotes from. But yeah, looking like we're holding those gains so far. Ethereum Classic popped 18% in the last 24 hours. Unfortunately, this does me no justice because I think I bought a little higher than where it is in anticipation for the Coinbase edition. But long term, meaning 6 to 12 months in cryptocurrencies, I think we'll be ultimately way higher than we are with Ethereum Classic. So let's just keep an eye on that. And again, we are off the lows of 5,900 on Bitstamp. But we failed to get above 66. So we need to see something above 66 for me to feel comfortable with raising my price targets back to 7,300. So that's where we are. We're kind of indecisive, neutral right now in Bitcoin from my perspective. But the first article is out of CCN, and it's titled here, "Why the Cryptocurrency Bubble is Reminiscent of Holding Amazon Stock." CoinShares Chief Strategy Officer says here, what a difference a few weeks makes. Just 21 days ago, the Bitcoin price was trading above 8,400, riding what appeared to be, to many, the first wave of a new bull market. The bottom, the analyst said, was in. Now, midway through August, Bitcoin is fighting to just stay above 6,000. The altcoin markets, meanwhile, have pummeled to a pulp. The Ethereum price is down 18% for the day and double that for the week, while the Ripple price has now plunged 93% from its all-time highs. Why do you think I have no XRP in my Twitter handle? It's been that way for quite some time, over 6 to 7 months. Speaking with CNBC, Meltem Demirtas, Chief Strategy Officer at UK cryptocurrency investment firm CoinShares, attributed the sell-off in part to the difficulty that the industry is having presenting a consistent, attractive narrative to investors. He says here, really the only metric we have for most cryptocurrencies is the price. And price is such an imperfect metric. I agree. What does actual utilization look like? That's the struggle for crypto right now. Concurrently, the bear market has presented blockchain startups funded through ICO coin offerings with a difficult choice: sell their assets now to preserve whatever runway they have left, or continue to hodl indefinitely in the hope that market will finally turn a corner. We talked about that yesterday. It's been a common theme I see here. He says here, what we've seen now is that a lot of these ICOs that have raised capital have done so using Ether or Bitcoin. When the price was $1,200, everyone was feeling really good. They had a long capital runway. Now the price is at $300 and they're not feeling so great, she said. I think this is really what our ecosystem is struggling with. How do we allocate out of ETH and into other assets that preserve value long term? And what should those assets be? Demers compared the fluctuating valuations that Bitcoin and Ethereum have seen with those experienced by revolutionary tech companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and Intel at the turn of the millennium, explaining that many investors in these companies were forced to wait a decade or more to see the value of their investment breaking even following the dot-com bubble. Patient investors, however, were richly rewarded. So she says here, new technologies that shift the paradigm take a long time to really understand. I think what we saw in crypto was this massive run up where everyone got FOMO, and what it caused is a speculative bubble, but all of the capital is now getting deployed into building real businesses that serve a real purpose. She finally says here, we're starting to see real traction. And I have to agree with her. This does remind, me of the .com era where pets.com no longer here. Amazon, Microsoft, Cisco, man, if you invested in those back then, you are set, right? So I think that kind of rings true with cryptocurrencies, where you now, after this 2017 mania rally we had, now you're going to have to pick those, you're going to have to do your research and really pick those cryptocurrencies that are going to be here for the long haul. And all the speculative ones that they say they're doing this and they're going to be the next this and that. Maybe as an investor in this space, you can allocate 10%, 20%. If I were in someone's footsteps or shoes, I would allocate a small portion to those riskier assets. But I think after 2017, many have to really come to the realization that most of your portfolio should be weighted in the bigger players, because over time, those are going to win. What are those big players? That's where you got to do your research and figure that out. I think with a little brain power, you'll be able to figure that out with no problem. So guys, let me know. What do you think? Is it right to compare this cryptocurrency movement to the millennial 2000s, .com bubble? Let me know what you guys think about that. Surely like to have that discussion with you. The second article, which is what I'm really excited about, not for the sake of institutional money coming in, but more so, this is more on the retail investor side. I believe will have a greater impact with this decision or this move by Nasdaq. So it says here, Nasdaq and Gemini deepen relationship. Nasdaq moves closer to listing coins. It starts off by saying, remember that secret meeting in Chicago between Nasdaq leadership and several different crypto companies and personalities of distinction? It was reported by Bloomberg about 3 weeks ago. That meeting and subsequent conversations have led to two specific developments that would provide a jolt to the crypto markets and its retail and institutional infrastructure. So it says here, based on two sources close to Gemini and the Winklevoss twins crypto empire, we believe that Gemini and Nasdaq are moving closer and closer to a joint venture that allows both Nasdaq and Gemini to list tokens and provide liquidity on a global scale. According to both sources, there is a plan being constructed that would see the Nasdaq ultimately list top market cap coins for global trading. The specifics of the plan were not laid out to us point by point. What was referenced, however, was the roadmap connected to the vetting and oversight that Gemini has allowed Nasdaq to do, specific to manipulation of the cryptocurrency markets and specific to their exchange. It goes on to say here that has led to a deeper relationship between the two firms and increased confidence from Nasdaq that there is a pathway to list, at a minimum, Bitcoin and Ethereum as tradable entities on the global scale. This initial foray into the crypto ecosystem would be measured, careful, and work closely with regulatory channels. So then the article kind of gives two sources and quotes them, and I won't read those. I'll let you guys read those. But the article finally wraps up by saying there is a groundswell of institutional architecture being built at a swift pace, and Gemini is smack dab in the middle of it. They've purposefully put themselves in this position. There are massive amounts of money to be made, providing the initial pipes for volatility in somewhat inefficient markets. And while the crypto markets have come a long way, the inefficiencies are still sizable and the biggest point of contention for institutions. Gemini and the Winklevoss twins have been working to bridge the gap and provide mature and reliable solutions to those concerns. It seems we are closer to finding out how much progress has been made. So yeah, that's breaking news, and I got to give credit to the ICO Journal for this one. If you don't think the ETF will be passed at least by March of 2019, I don't know. I think they're laying, they're getting stuff done. Even though the Winklevoss twins ETF was denied again the second time, I'm just saying we're seeing, these big exchanges, ICE, Nasdaq, they're working with these cryptocurrency exchanges to really bring liquidity to this game. And so that's definitely coming. And I think along with that will be that ETF in March of 2019. But in between now and then, we may see some volatility and some moves to the downside, especially if we get a delay in September by the SEC with this ETF, the CBOE's ETF. I think that's going to happen. So again, I still think we may see some downside here short term, but you guys let me know, what do you think? That's pretty much it for today. We're going to rock and roll. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. All that good stuff, the routine. And I'm out of here. You better put some respect on my name. Holla!